Meine Damen und Herren, Mesdames et Messieurs, Ladies and Gentlemen. Where are your troubles now? Forgotten? I told you so. We have no troubles. Yeah.
In 1966, a new musical came to Broadway called Cabaret. It depicts the rise of Nazism through the lens of the quote-unquote unaffected German. It presents an immersive experience into understanding how the Holocaust was allowed to happen. It does this by distracting the audience, both the audience of the cabaret within the play and the actual audience, with mindless sex and entertainment in the form of a cabaret, while the rise of the Third Reich creeps on in the background. It tangles between the absurd acts of the cabaret's vaudevillian-styled variety show and the rise of the anti-Semitism of the time, each increasing in severity as the play goes on. It tests the limits of how much we'll be willing to swallow for the sake of laughs or entertainment. Unlike the way we know the play today, in the 1966 original version of the musical, the audience was separate from the play. They were a bit more discreet about the whole topic, even changing the title from the original Welcome to Berlin to Cabaret, feeling the former was too harsh. This is not because they were afraid, but because they didn't need to say or show anything more. In 1966, the word Holocaust had not even become common tongue yet, and the memory of World War II was still very fresh in the common population's memory. By 1998, a very different young audience filled theaters. The Holocaust, at best, is learned in history class or through a grandparent's story. It's distant and unfamiliar. So to give the audience a real experience of the meaning of this play, they would have to make some changes. The biggest change the 1998 production made was having the stage be set up like an actual cabaret, with seating around the stage and a cocktail hour prior to the show. Here, the audience becomes the 1930s German crowd. It's likely for this reason they also made the change to cut some of Herr Schultz's songs and add some more Sally Bowles songs. You see, in 1966, the division of songs between both couples whose stories we follow throughout the plot is fairly evenly divided. The plot's A couple, Sally and Cliff, are neither German and have the option to leave Germany at any moment. However, our B couple, Herr Schultz and Fräulein Schneider, are tied to their land. Schultz may be Jewish and even speak in a Yiddish accent, but he, like her, has nowhere to run. This is his home. The audience of that time recognized Jews as different, but still deserving of mutual respect. In the 1998 plot, it becomes significantly more Sally Cliff lenient, and due to clever staging and set design, the audience is the Germans who can't leave. Schultz is also played by a much more subtle actor, losing the accent in many of the comedic songs. It's meant to make the audience wonder why he is hated when he seems no different than anyone else. Perhaps this is a testament to where Jewish identity and the tactics of fighting bigotry stood in each of these generations. Another change made is the song Tomorrow Belongs to Me. In 1966, the song was sung by the waiters and staff of the Kit Kat Club. There was no major Nazi symbolism or in-your-face imagery, just a red swastika band and the song. The melody itself was sinister enough to the ear of that generation that they can automatically understand the meaning and implications the song carries and fill in the blanks. By 1998, the sound of Nazi propaganda anthems had, thankfully, lost familiarity in the average ear, and so the production team had to make its meaning blatantly clear. In the reprise, which, by the way, also doesn't exist in the 1966 version, the MC begins parading around in a typical SS-style trench coat, signaling Heil Hitler, putting two fingers over his mouth, mimicking Hitler's mustache, and even lowering his pants to reveal his bare bottom with the swastika painted on it. To me, both versions offer a very powerful message, but also very different ones. Having the song sung only once, and quite subtly at that, removes the emphasis of the Nazi hindsight that we have as the audience. And it reminds us how easy it is to get distracted and forget what's brewing underneath when it doesn't personally relate to us. On the other hand, having a swastika drawn on the bare butt of the MC, aka the one who's been distracting you this whole time from said atrocities, tells a whole other story. It, first of all, implies that the entertainment business is on the Jewish side rather than the distraction from it. This is even proven by the ending of the 98 version, which shows the MC undressing to reveal striped pajamas and a yellow star. Finally, and possibly most fundamentally different, in the 1966 production, They actually changed the lyrics of the song If You Could See Her Through My Eyes. The version of the song most known has the MC dancing around with a monkey in a tutu. He professes his love for her, and he claims if the world could just see her as he does, they'd understand, and why can't the world just let them be? His final shocking line at the end of the song ends with, "If you could see her through my eyes, she wouldn't look Jewish at all." The original production, however, changed it due to external pressures from those who, to quote Henry Beale, who put it perfectly, couldn't see the difference between depicting anti-Semitism and endorsing it. It was changed to "She isn't a miskite at all." Miskite is Yiddish for ugly. This is the only Yiddish word used in the entire play, referencing a song Herr Schultz sings previously. This lyrical switch not only makes the resolution of the song significantly less daunting, it also implies that the MC is Jewish, or at the very least, it implies he's not afraid of using Jewish lingo despite the climate. This could have been interesting, like in the way the 1998 version interpreted the MC, but the rest of the play doesn't really support this take, and so it merely lessens the impact of the song. Different eras require different adaptations to this song to get the message across in accordance with the audience of the time. In the 1998 production, there was a willingness to be bolder and exist in a climate where joking about anti-Semitism while still respecting Jewishness was more acceptable, and therefore was able to reinsert the original lyrics. This topic also can't go without touching upon the most recent 2024 revival of Cabaret, in which, in my opinion, there was not enough thought put into the adaptation as it relates to the actual theme and moral of the story and how to fit it for this era and political climate. Well, there was a lot of spectacle and wonderful queer, gender, and sex positivity. The Jewish focus and lesson gets lost within it. The adaptation so clearly didn't hit the mark that Adam Lambert, bless his heart for being so true in this moment, playing the MC on Broadway, actually stopped the show after the audience laughed at the line, "She wouldn't look Jewish at all." He waited for the audience to quiet, stared them straight in the face, and had to say, "No, this is not comedy. Pay attention." To me, this is a testament not only to the lack of deep, intentional consideration in the making of this revival, and not only to the position of Jews in today's society, but also proof that Cabaret is a play that must have Jews in its production, something that this most recent revival was very clearly lacking. I would also like to praise the TikTok famous Ukrainian production of the musical, which truly understood the weight of this play while still making it entirely unique, quirky, and accurately responsive to its modern target audience. Truly done right and understood the assignment. My hat goes tips. Yes, good.